Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace for the GPVWC ITC and the finale of the GPVWC ITC. Of course, the championship has already been wrapped up 2 rounds ago by last round, in fact, by Rudy Van Buren, although 2 rounds from the end. And of course, he is not here today because he's been busy with his World's Fastest Gamer duties. But that does not mean by any means that they're not racing for anything today. We've got some very hungry drivers, I know, and second place in the championship could all change. I mean, Matt Richards, I heard from him earlier. He was saying that he could go from 2nd to 5th in the championship standings today. So it could still all change, and we got a couple of close Constructors' Championship battles as well. I believe that Vodball has already wrapped up the overall championship. But anyway, we are currently in the first qualifying session for said race, where the drivers get 1 race each, 1 lap each, 1 time lap. And so far, at the top of those time laps, or the order of those time laps, is James Wilson in the Honda. So James Wilson, with, of course, his team, Aurora Motorsports' new livery today. Very fetching shade of pink. And behind him at the moment is Chris Shepherd, Lewis McGlade, and Adrian Campfield now goes to 3rd. So Adrian Campfield, the top of, not quite the top of the BMWs because Chris Shepherd's in a BMW, but still the THR of BMW of Adrian Campfield goes to 2nd. Right, who's on a lap now? Jeffrey Fournier is just coming around the final few corners to finish his lap as Matt Clip crosses the line in 5th. But Jeffrey Fournier just coming through the final few corners to set his lap. What's this going to be? Fournier's been a quick one so far this season. 2nd! He moves ahead of his teammate. So, Jeffrey Fournier up into 2nd place in the session. So far followed by Shepherd, Campfield, McGlade, Clip, Allington, Potters, Ruder, McCready and Oldcorn. But times could still tumble as 11 drivers have set laps. We have... 12, counting Ben Willis, who appears to have had his lap time deleted. That can often happen if a driver disrespects the track limits or feels they have disrespected the track limits. And we have 22 drivers in this session, so it could still all change. We've got a couple of guys on laps now. Matt Richards, for example, who is 2nd in the championship as it stands, has just gone on to a lap actually, so this will be a great one to watch, as we'll be able to see the entirety of his lap from turn 3 onwards. So heading out of turn 3, runs it nicely over the curb and gets it back on before the grass. That's what you're supposed to do. Now down into turn 4, brakes at just the right point, gets it turned in up on the inside curb into the 2nd apex. Onto the outside curb, again not taking too much of it, you don't want to unsettle the car. Now through turn 5, this is where we saw Lewis Hamilton losing it in the F1 race at the weekend. 2 apexes to that as well, runs it out nicely to the outside. Of course, can't get all 4 wheels over the line, otherwise your lap time will be deleted, so does it nicely and gently now. You see the tyre smoke in his rear view mirror there, just showing that despite the fact this does all look nicely controlled, he is still pushing this, and it'll be interesting to see what his lap time is like. Just looking at the timing sheet now. Oh, where is he? He's actually gone off my screen. Okay, well, he appears to have set quite a quick 1st and 2nd sector here. Not the quickest overall, but let's see where it lands as he heads through the final corner now. 2nd place in the championship. Where's he going to go in the order? It's going to be 9th. Only 9th. My goodness. So Matt Richards is going to be starting well down the order by his standards. He's slotted in between the 2 Rowan GP guys of Tristan Potters and Fabian Ruder. And I must say that's a very good effort from the 2 Rowan GP guys. David Franchik now goes to 4th position. Who's on a quick lap? Adam Hodgkinson was, but he appears to have pulled into the pits now, and I don't think he'll have a chance to set another lap. Stein Fidder goes to 10th. Who else have we got on a lap? Ryan Nash. Ryan Nash is coming through the final sector now, and where will he paste his car in the timing sheets? Oh, in the pits. Never mind. So Ryan Nash obviously opting not to go for a time lap in this session. Some drivers won't if they've got an outstanding penalty from the previous round, or if they just if they pick up a penalty on their actual lap. So often if you blow it, you know you've blown it, and you just come straight back into the pit. Rob Mason now has started his hot lap. He is coming through turn 3 at the moment. We saw a good strong showing from Mason in the ITC Portland, with, I believe, top 5 was that in the order. And I'm just being told that Vodbull is not officially the team's champion yet. Between well, in the warm-up session between sessions, I'm going to I'm going to load up a championship table and see what they'll need to do to claim the championship, and who they're up against as well. I can imagine that Godona is probably one of the chief oppositions. Well, yes, they are. Anyway, Rob Mason still on his lap, possibly turned in slightly too early in the second sector there, but this is still looking like an okay lap. Epic team, yeah, the one with Godona. I keep calling them Godona because they've got Godona on the rear wing, but no, they're Epic Racing Team, which is the team I was referring to. Just I said it wrong. And they are currently 2nd and 3rd in this order. So 2nd and 3rd, that's good showing there from the Epic Racing Team drivers. And I can imagine that they will be aiming to see what they can do here. Rob Mason just went 7th with that lap between Lewis McGlade and Matt Clipp. So that's really not a bad effort there. Right, out onto the track now go 2 more drivers. We've got Adam Taylor and Wesley Stefano going out quite late, probably waiting to go out until this late to get clean air in the session, because of course no point running around losing downforce behind other drivers when you can just wait until later on in the session. Like now, for example, we've still got 4 minutes left, but that should be plenty of time for these 2 drivers to get around and set a lap. Also, we have a couple of other drivers that haven't haven't gone out to set laps yet. Actually, we have one more driver who hasn't, and that's Doe Tapper, who's only just joined the server now. So Doe Tapper in the other Vodbull car, of course, covering for Rudy Van Buren, who won't be here this weekend. Interestingly, Adam Taylor appears to have swapped cars. I believe he was in the number 2 in the previous 2 weekends, and his teammate was in the 0. Yeah, because the 0 is Rudy Van Buren's car. But it appears that Taylor's taken the 0 for this weekend, and Tapper has taken the number 2. So that's that sorted out. Also, I believe we've lost from the server Tobias Olsen. So Tobias Olsen was going to be driving this weekend for the IDOS GP team, and it'll be interesting to see whether he joins in again. IDOS Motorsport rather, but yeah, for now we appear to have lost Tobias Olsen. Just checking for some penalties. Apparently Fabian Ruder's got one that will put him down to 18th place on the grid as Adam Taylor goes on to his lap now. I don't believe. Oh, Philip Morby's got a 5 place grid penalty, hasn't he? Yeah. So we got Fabian Ruder. Fabian Ruder and Philip Morby both have a 5-slot grid penalty. Stefan McCready has a back of the grid penalty. Who else have we got? Oh, that was it. Okay, so from what I can see, we've got McCready with a back of the grid penalty, and Morby and Ruder with 5 place penalties. So those are the penalties we're going to get for this round. Of course, that doesn't count the back of the grid penalties that we've got as a result of drivers backing out of their laps due to track limits here, like we've seen from Hodgkinson, Morby, Nash and Willis so far. To be honest, I did see that Adam Hodgkinson's first sector was unnaturally quick in the on the timing sheet, so I wonder if he did cut something, possibly turn 2. Also, right, so Adam Taylor is now exiting the final corner. Let's see what this lap is going to do to him. Oh, it's first! Adam Taylor goes to the top of the order with an all-time best in terms of this session so far. Sector 3. And a very good Sector 1 and Sector 2 as well. Not quite at the top, but definitely close to it. And that has definitely put him right to the top of the order. And it is Adam Taylor on provisional pole here. Now, we also have Wesley Stefano. Oh, no, Wesley Stefano has abandoned his lap. So Stefano into the pits, and that will be his session run. I can report that Tobias Olsen has made it into the session. He's on track now, as is Dawei Tapper. So we have those two drivers just making their way around to start their hot laps. They will be the final two drivers in this session to do a hot lap. Of course, Tobias Olsen, last time out we saw him, he was in the BMW, the drag racing BMW at Adelaide. That's the one. We saw him at Adelaide, yeah. And of course, he won race 3 in that race. So it'll be very interesting to see what Tobias Olsen can do in this particular round in the Ford. Of course, we haven't seen him in a front-wheel drive car yet this season, anyway. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do here. Out of the two people who just set first sector times there, Dawei Tapper's was slightly faster than Tobias Olsen's, but Olsen's still Olsen's going to put in his lap first, so we'll see how they relate to each other. I'm just waiting for the sector 2 times. You can see they're just cropping their rear wheels in the air as they go around that left-hander there. Actually, Tapper not cropping his rear wheel in the air, so it might be that Tapper's running a slightly softer suspension setup than Tobias Olsen, or maybe a very much softer suspension setup than Tobias Olsen. But whatever the case, the Ford becoming a tripod as Olsen turns around the left-hander, and the Honda not so much. But anyway, round the final corner now. Whose second sector time was quicker? It was Tapper's again. So Tapper on a quicker lap than Olsen here. But let's see where Olsen's lap puts him here. It's going to be 5th. That's a good effort from Tobias Olsen. And if that's anything to go by, then Dawei Tapper's going to be even quicker. Where's this going to put him? Oh, it isn't. It's 11th. So I wonder if Tapper made a slight mistake in the final sector. Oh my word. In fact, looking at the timing sheet, Tapper's final sector was 0.6 of a second slower than Olsen's, and that's put him 11th. So, in terms of the actual order, we have Adam Taylor at the top, followed by James Wilson, Jeffrey Fournier, Chris Shepherd, Tobias Olsen, David Franchik, Adrian Campfield, Lewis McGlade, Rob Mason, Matthew Clip, Dawei Tapper, Matthew Allington, Tristan Potters, Stein Fidder, Matt Richards, Fabian Ruder, Stefan McCready, Richard Olcorn, Adam Hodgkinson, Philip Morby, Wesley Stefano, Ryan Nash and Ben Willis in that order. However, we do have some penalties, so it'll be interesting to see how the order shapes out after that. But it is Adam Taylor on pole position here at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Paza for Vodball. So in the Vodball versus Epic Racing battle, it's getting close with the leading Vodball first, and then Epic Racing cars 3rd and 4th. Well, in their own way, all of these cars are Epic Racing cars. Of course, very fun to race these touring cars. We have a mixture of front-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive in the field. The front-wheel drive cars being the Honda, the Ford, and the Toyota, and the rear-wheel drive car being the BMW. If I had to pick a combination for this track, I'd probably go for a front-wheel drive car, because you can really get the kind of power out of the final corner and down the straight with a front wheel drive car, and the Honda and the Toyota just seem to be that much slipperier in a straight line than the rear wheel drive cars do. Although, and also when it comes to elevation changes like you get at this circuit, you just have to be that much more careful in a rear wheel drive car. So as you can see, the it is Honda 1-2, BMW 3-4. So that could show what I've been saying. However, it's been very close the whole season long, and well, in fact, forever in the ITC and in touring car racing in general. So, rear wheel drive, front wheel drive, who cares really? If you're a good driver, you can go at it, and that's what they're going to be doing today. So, I'm just getting up the championship standings now to try to find out what Vodbull would need to do to seal their championship from Epic Racing. However, my system appears to be relatively slow at loading today, so I might not. Oh, here we go. It's loaded up. So right, we have Vodbull on 527 points. We have Epic Racing on 431, 96 points behind, and with 25 points for a win. Is it? Yeah, it's 25 points for a win and 20 for second. Then that means there's 45 points open for every team in each race, and of course 45 times 3, maths with Joshua Jones, is 135. So they'd need to build up. Oh no, they needed to have built up 135 points by now. So they need to build up they need to build up 90 points for race 2. So that means Epic Racing needs to score 6 more points. 7 more points rather, because of the count back on wins rule. But yeah, so Epic Racing needs to score 7 more points than Vodbull for this next race to keep the championship, the Constructors' Championship, alive. So, well, let's see how it plays out. We're just in a 5-minute warm-up session at the moment. A couple of guys doing practice starts on the start-finish straight. Philip Morby, of course, will need to get a good start because he will be starting 5 places further down the order from where he qualified. Ben Willis, you'll notice Ben Willis actually tucking in behind Morby to do his practice start, probably to try to get the hang of sort of being behind someone on the grid and watching the lights above everyone else, and then not running into the back of them on the start, of course. Didn't quite work because Morby pulled away before him, but still, this is the real time when the tension builds. When you're just doing your final few laps, doubting yourself, thinking, have I got the consistency to do a full race distance? As Matt Richards has a bit of a spin, actually, that's a worrying sign. Doesn't really matter because this is not qualifying, so it doesn't affect the actual race order there. Right, now for the Drivers' Championship as well. Of course, we know that the overall Drivers' Championship has already been wrapped up by Rudy Van Buren. Now it's on for second place between... right, okay, so as I've said, that we have 100 and... No, that's for the team. So we have 75 points up for grabs. And 75 points behind Matt Richards would be 260 minus 70, minus 75 would of course be 185. So oh, I tell you what, anyone from well, Matt Richards was wrong actually. He could actually drop back to 6th in the drivers' standings, not just 5th. Anyone down to 6th place in the Drivers' Championship can now secure second. So that would be Matt Richards, Chris Shepherd, Lewis McGlade, David Franchuk, and Geoffrey Fournier all going at it for second place in the Drivers' Championship now. And that'll be a very interesting one to watch, because when you have 5 drivers fighting for it, you know it's going to be a furious one. I just hope there aren't any falling outs in this one. The gap between Matt Richards and Chris Shepherd is 19 points, and that's really not that much, actually, because you get 20 for a second place. So, well, it certainly could all change. Now, we have the checkered flag on this quick warm-up session. That means that we are about to get underway for our first of the 3 11-lap races here. Now, we have the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pazet in the GPVWC ITC. We're just waiting for a few final people to cross the line and make their way back to the pits. Quick lap again in that one from Adam Taylor, 1:37.721. But again, the lap times here don't affect the actual grid order. This is just a practice session after the qualifying session, and doesn't really make any difference at all to the race. Of course, it can allow the drivers to get used to sort of running on a full fuel setup, but still doesn't really make that much difference. We do have 2 more drivers than we did in qualifying now, so 2 drivers have only just joined us. One of them being David Yunt in the BMW, the other being Eric Stanford in the Honda. So we have two more drivers than we did before. And, well, we'll see how they can do. David Yunt, in particular, is quite a quick driver, so... Right, we'll see what we can do. In terms of the YouTube stream now, we have 4 viewers so far. Make sure to leave a comment if you're here, either about the racing or just saying hi, because we will be reading out a couple of... or I will be reading out a couple of comments throughout this broadcast. I see that we have Soft Glass in the chat so far. So good evening to Soft Glass and everyone who is already in this broadcast. We're about to get the first of our 3 races underway here. The drivers just lining up on the grid now. We've been called to the grid. And it's going to be Adam Taylor leading us away here for the first of our 3 formation laps at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pazet. Followed by Geoffrey Fournier, Chris Shepherd, Tobias Olsen, David Franchuk, James Wilson, Lewis McGlade, Rob Mason, Matthew Clip, Dowie Tapper, Matthew Allington, Tristan Potters, Stein Fidder, Matt Richards, Richard Oldcorn, Adam Hodgkinson, Wesley Stefano, Fabian Ruder, Ryan Nash, Ben Willis, Philip Morby, David Yunt, Stefan McCready, Adrian Campfield, and Eric Stanford, who appears to be starting from the pits. So Eric Stanford hasn't made it out for this first formation lap, so we are going to see a pit starter in Eric Stanford, possibly starting from the pits to avoid some early chaos. Of course, we've seen that a couple of times so far this season, particularly in Adelaide from Elise Skinner. I seem to remember starting from the pits to avoid the inevitable carnage at the first chicane, which did end up happening. I should point out. Hopefully, we don't get any of that or too much of that today. Of course, the occasional incident will happen. That's pretty much inevitable, and it happens in all series. But hopefully we get a relatively clean race today, and we can have some good battling on the circuit. So, again, once more, the top 10 order is Taylor, Fournier, Shepherd, Olsen, Franchuk, Wilson, McGlade, Mason, Clip, Tapper, and then if we're going to go all the way down to the final point scoring positions, we have Allington, Potters, Fidder, Richards, and Oldcorn as well. So that is the order for this ITC race here, and let's see what we're going to get. Now, I do also notice we don't have Oh, James Wilson qualified second initially, but he appears to have a five-place grid penalty that I didn't know of. So James Wilson did qualify second. I've just had that pointed out to me. Yeah, to everyone confused in the chat, it was James Wilson who initially qualified second, and he is now starting the race sixth. So it appears he's had some kind of a grid penalty. Because I remember it was Taylor followed by Wilson. But anyway, onto the grid now. The driver's pool. We have Adam Taylor at the front of the order. Now we're just waiting for Adrian Campfill to bring up the rear. Of course, with Eric Stanford starting from the pit lane. And Campford is going to bring up the 24th grid slot now. So the lights are going to start coming on, and when they go out, we are going to get underway. Watch for the lights. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're off. We're off at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Paz there. And Adam Taylor gets a good start. Let's see where Fournier is. He's on the inside. So will Fournier get the lead here down into turn 1? He outbrakes Adam Taylor, and Fournier leads this race. Jeffrey Fournier leads the race now. And are we all through turn 1 safely? I believe we are. So a good start there. And will Taylor be able to get right back past Jeffrey Fournier? He was in the slipstream briefly. Now he's going to pull to the outside. And if he can outbrake Jeffrey Fournier down into turn 4, then we might have an attack here. Tobias Olsen is going to the outside of Chris Shepherd for third place as well. And Taylor has now got his nose up the inside of Jeffrey Fournier. That's going to turn into the outside for turn 5. So this might well not pay off. They bang wheels down the straight. And it is going to be Jeffrey Fournier who leads down into turn 5. And Tobias also makes it up to second, third. But look at Taylor. Taylor to the inside, and he muscles his way past Jeffrey Fournier. Fournier still has the inside line. And it's going to be Fournier who leads the race again. Look at Olsen. Look at Tobias Olsen, who is getting alongside Taylor. They're going 3 wide for the leaders. Taylor, there's contact. Taylor poked to the inside of Fournier. It didn't work, but Fournier keeps the lead. And look at Franchik as well, getting around the outside of Adam Taylor. That's not going to work yet. Shepherd's going to keep his nose on the inside for 4th position. But it is Franchik who keeps 4th position there. And James Wilson now challenges Chris Shepherd. They are side by side for 5th place as we head through the final corner of the lap, and it looks as if Wilson, who initially qualified second, has that. Now watch Taylor and Olsen, as Taylor is going to get right in the slipstream with Tobias Olsen, and Olsen on Fournier. As we head down into turn 1 again, we're going 3 wide for the lead. Fournier has the inside line. Olsen is going around the outside. There's a big slide, and he's going to keep his nose on the... Oh no, that's of Taylor. So Fournier keeps the lead, and now Taylor is going to pass Olsen. So Taylor gets back past Olsen for 2nd place as we head down the back straight towards turn 4. Is everyone through lap 1 safely? No, Steinfeder is out of the race. So unfortunately we've lost one already. And it's Fournier, Taylor, Olsen, Franchik and Wilson. Those are our top 5. My goodness, you know it's a hectic race when the commentator's voice starts hurting after 2 corners. Anyway, Fournier leads it through turn 5. He is still under attack, though, from Adam Taylor, who is probably just trying to eye up his opportunities for the rest of this lap. Tobias Olsen is right on his tail as well, and Olsen probably will launch the next attack, I should say. Actually, he's dropping back a bit towards David Franchik now, so let's see what Franchik can do. You can see in the body language of his car, he is definitely wanting to make his way up through the order quickly here. Of course, Franchik, one of the guys fighting for 5th place in 2nd place, rather, in this drivers' championship. He's very much an outside chance, but we've seen stranger things. Anyway, look at the leaders now as we head down through the final corner. The gap is less than half a second apart, and will Taylor launch a move on Jeffrey Fournier here down towards turn 1? Is it going to happen this time? It is. He's going to the outside. He's not going to run his way around the outside, though, surely. If he can keep his nose there, he'll have the inside for turn 2. Is it going to happen? No, it isn't. So Fournier gets the run on Adam Taylor and keeps the lead for now. Olsen keeps ahead of Franchik for now as well, but we still have another slipstreaming straight, followed by another possible one after this as well. So it could still all change. Watch 3rd, Tobias Olsen and David Franchik. That is getting very close as well as it... Well, I don't say getting close, because it has been close for this entire time. Now, this straight probably won't be long enough for any sort of move, and indeed it isn't this time round. We've seen the occasional move here in the past. Usually it takes something dramatic for that to be the case, but nothing here. Wesley Stefano is out, so we've had an accident further down the order, and unfortunately we've lost another driver in Wesley Stefano. So that's happened, unfortunately. I'm also being told that Franchik has extra motivation for this race because it is his last GPVWC. Yeah, his last GPVWC race. So, unfortunately, we are going to say goodbye to David Franchik after this race, and he will be hoping for a good result to see himself off. He's in a good position so far with 4th position, but he'll want higher. A podium or two would be a good way to end it. As we head down the front straight, watch the leaders as Taylor is going to pull to the outside again of Geoffrey Fournier, just as he did last lap. He just can't get the inside line there, but he's got his nose in front. Now, will he be able to get his nose in front through turn 2? He does. And Adam Taylor leads this race again. So it is Taylor from Fournier, but will Fournier be able to challenge back as we head down the back straight towards turn 4? Taylor, Fournier, will Fournier stick his nose to the inside of turn 4? Surely he can't outbreak him from there. He doesn't. They're side by side for 3rd as well. Olsen keeps ahead of Franchik for now, and Wilson keeps 5th. Now, what will happen down... Oh, wait, we've got Wilson and Franchik side by side. So, Wilson and Franchik side by side for 4th position. Wilson will have the outside line here. Franchik is going to keep the inside line, which indeed... gives him the position, but look at Wilson getting the undercut here, the switchback, and Wilson, does he move up into 4th? He's going to have the outside line again. That's the nature of Sao Paulo. 1 minute you're on the inside, the next minute you're on the out, and now he's coming under attack from his teammate Lewis McGlade. So the two Aurora Motorsport cars side by side for 5th position there, and watch Chris Shepherd getting in on the action as well. This could all change, definitely. And the two leaders close again. Will this change this time down towards turn 1? Of course, that was where it changed last lap, and Taylor certainly has not got that far ahead of Geoffrey Fournier, as Matt Richards now moves ahead of Chris Shepherd. So Shepherd loses a place to Matt Richards, who moves up into 8th place. Rob Mason has got up into 7th as well, and that's crucial for Matt Richards' charge for 2nd in this championship. There was not an attack that time round down into turn 1, so it looks as if Taylor's just kind of cleared his path for this particular instance. Also, I believe we've had some kind of incident further behind, because Richard Oldcorn has dropped right to the back of the pack since last time I looked. But anyway, still only the 2 retirements. Hopefully we don't get any more. Fastest lap that last time around from Adam Taylor, so using the toe of Geoffrey Fournier's car as they headed down towards turn 1, and then just extending his lead for the rest of the lap. That was a 1:37.907. That's almost qualifying pace. Of course, we've seen so far this season that qualifying pace hasn't really been that much quicker than race pace for some of these guys, but still a very impressive lap, and I'm sure we've got more to come as Matt Richards and Chris Shepherd go side by side for 8th position again. Shepherd attempted to get past Richards as Richards locks up again, but no such move did occur. Now, I fear that the battle for the lead might be getting too spread out now, so Fournier, indeed, he's dropped to over a second behind Adam Taylor now, so that might be it for now, unless Taylor makes a mistake, but it could always change later on in the race. Now the real battle is that for 3rd place and further behind, as Tapper and Hodgkinson are going side by side with Matthew Allington for 12th place. They just went 3 wide pretty much as we head through the final corner here. Who is going to get ahead out of these 3? At the moment, it's Adam Hodgkinson, although Allington and Tapper are still side by side. And yeah, Hodgkinson has got 11th place comfortably there. Oh, big slide from Dowie Tapper, and he actually taps the back of Matthew Allington, and Philip Morby gets the both of them. So, bit of contact there between Allington and Tapper, and Morby has inherited the place. As, oh my goodness, we're very, very close for 5th. And James Wilson almost got passed by Lewis McGlade there. That was very hairy, and that could have all changed there. as we see Richard Olcorn just getting out of the way of a few guys. Oh, we've lost Stefan McCready. So we've lost Stefan McCready from this race as Richard Olcorn gets lapped. But unfortunately, that's our third retirement from this race so far. And talking of third, the gap for third is less than half a second still. 0.4 of a second, as it has been for pretty much this entire race. Now, as we head towards the back end of the circuit, we have Taylor leading from Fournier, Olsen, Franchik, Wilson, McGlade, Mason, Richards, Shepherd, Clip, Hodgkinson, Morby, Allington, Tapper and Potters. Those are our top 15 and our point scorers, and just outside of the points at the moment is Ben Willis. So that's how the points will go at the moment. Matt Richards is side by side with Rob Mason, and Richards gets the position. So 7th place to Matt Richards, but Mason's not going to take this line down, is he? He's coming back around the outside of Matt Richards' BMW now, and will this all change here? I don't... Oh, he might. No, Richards is going to keep his nose to the inside, and he keeps the position. Also, I saw that Olsen, Franchik, Wilson and McGlade were overlapping with each other down into turn 1 as well. Those positions have stayed the same as well. So, a lot of attacking going on at the moment, but, of course, catching someone is one thing, passing them is another thing, as Mason and Richards are side by side again. And Mason's going to get Richards right back here. So, Mason in the Kernow gets the position back on Matt Richards, and now Chris Shepherd is going side by side with Richards himself. So Shepherd and Richards back at it, and Shepherd is going to be forced to the outside line here, but he might get the switch back as Richards is forced wide. They bang wheels, and Shepherd is going to have the inside line here, and this will be a good move from Shepherd if he pulls it off, just leaving Richards nowhere to go. But Richards gets back to the inside, keeps the overlap and gets to the inside rather. Although that's turned back into the inside for Chris Shepherd. So, it just keeps changing hands here, and they've been side by side for about 4 corners by now. And now Richards will have the inside line, and he will do for the rest of the lap. And if I was Chris Shepherd, I'd probably let him go now, as he has done, yes. Oh, for exactly that reason. Shepherd's read that nicely, and he's got to the inside of Matt Richards for this final corner of the lap. And also look at Matt Clip now. So Clip right on the back of these two, and actually side by side with them now, being forced over the grass. This is amazing. And look at Adam Hodgkinson getting in on it. We've got 4 cars absolutely boxing each other in here, and I have no idea who's going to be ahead by the time we get into turn 1. Matt Richards is going to lose many positions here. He's down into 9th. No, yes, he is. So it's Shepherd, Richards, Hodgkinson and Clip after that corner in that particular battle, which does have severe implications on the driver's title. Also, look at Franchik and Wilson side by side for 4th position. Franchik is up the inside. He will keep that position for now, but Wilson now has the switch back. Although, being Sao Paulo, that's going to be the outside line for the very next corner, and David Franchik will keep that. Will Wilson get the switch back? No, yeah, no, yeah, to the inside, yes, no, right, that's going to turn into the outside again. So Franchik keeps 4th place for now. My goodness, this has been a real cracker of a race so far. Did I say that Ryan Nash was out of the race? He is out of the race, but I don't know if I pointed that out or not. So that's our 4th retirement of this race so far. So again, unfortunate for all of those drivers. Ryan Nash, the most recent of them, on lap 5. As we head through the final corner of the lap again. Now, will fourth place come under attack on this next lap, as it did on this lap? We have Franchik, followed by McGlade. I'm just trying to kind of work out, with one eye on the standings and one eye on the actual race, where Matt Richards will be classified in the championship after this race, or rather, who will be classified in 2nd, because I'm not entirely sure. Oh my word, 4th place really was close that time round, as McGlade got right into right under the gearbox of David Franchik. It looks relatively easy to follow someone that closely on footage, although it really isn't, because you don't know when they're going to brake. You have a good idea, but if they brake slightly too early, you can often run straight into the back of them. And that can often be very, very dangerous and can sometimes take both drivers out. So you really don't want to be doing that. So with this position, Chris Shepherd would be scoring, so he'd be finishing in 8th position. He'd be scoring 8 points. Matt Richards would be scoring 7. So as it stands, Richards would still have second in the championship, because McGlade would be scoring 11 and he's further than 11 points behind. So Richards would still have second in the championship, but he certainly would be dropping back towards Chris Shepherd, as we have the two Aurora Motorsport guys going at it now, with Lewis McGlade ahead of James Wilson, and Wilson is going to poke to the outside of McGlade here as we head across the start-finish line. McGlade is on the inside as we head down towards turn 1, and he keeps that position. Obviously no team orders between those two here. Matt Richards now is coming under attack from Matt Clip. Oh, who clips him? So Clip into the rear of Matt Richards. Luckily that didn't lose either of them much time at all, but still you have to be careful. It is touring car racing, so bumping and banging is expected and allowed to an extent. But still, it's always exciting when it happens. Clip is now on the outside of Matt Richards, and he clips him again. This time in the rear bumper, just kind of gives him a little healthy push around the corner, I should say. And Dawei Tapper's had a spin. So Tapper, who of course did qualified 11th, I believe, has now spun down into 19th place. So Dawei Tapper, actually he was running 14th there. So Tapper was running in the points, and he's now running in 19th. So disappointment there for Dawei Tapper. I didn't exactly see how that happened. But anyway, that was a spin for Dawei Tapper. We are now on the penultimate lap of this race, so not much time left to go in this particular session. Looking at the footage now, I can see that Dawei Tapper was running right on the rear of Ben Willis, who is in 15th. No, but that would have been Matt Allington, so that would have been for 13th. And just kind of misjudged it and clipped him under braking. Meanwhile, Matt Allington himself is actually fighting Christian Pottas now, so he's found a new challenger, and Pottas is going to poke his nose to the outside. This is for 13th position. Is he going to drag his way around the outside? No, Allington's going to keep that for now. I am keeping one eye on the order further up, because I'm aware that the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th is still very, very close. Although I'm just dropping back through the order a bit to see what I can see further down. Matt Richards, again, coming under attack, this time from Adam Hodgkinson and Philip Morby. So that's getting very, very close there in the mid-pack. And Richards is now side by side with Clip. So Richards is going to go to the outside. They bang wheels! Oh, I thought they were going to completely interlock. They are! As Richards going to go over the grass. So Richards tries to make up 1 place, ends up losing 3. And that's put Richards down into 12th position, as Morby's going to try and drag his way around the outside of Adam Hodgkinson. He's going to be up the inside now, but Hodgkinson has that. So Richards down into 12th position. How many points will that give him? For 12th, that will give him 4 points. Again, he will still keep 2nd place in the championship, but he doesn't want to be making mistakes like that too often. Anyway, through the final corner now comes Adam Taylor. And after an 11-lap race, took the lead after lap 4, and he's going to win it. So Adam Taylor wins it now. Jeffrey 48, who led it early on, is going to come home in 2nd position, followed by Tobias Olsen. David Franchik just holds on to 4th, followed by McGlade and Wilson. Now it's going to be Rob Mason 7th, Chris Shepherd 8th, Matt Clip 9th, and then it's going to be Hodgkinson, Morby, Richards, who drops back a few points from Chris Shepherd. Then it's Allington and Pottas who cross the line pretty much side by side, but Allington gets to 13th position. Ben Willis takes the final point in 15th, followed by Stanford and Yunt just outside of the points. Then it's Camfield, Tapper, Ruder and Oldcorn. So we're just waiting for Ruder and Oldcorn to finish now. Ruder crosses the line there in 20th position. Oldcorn is going to cross the line in 21st. There he goes. And well, of course, we had 4 retirements in Ryan Nash, Stefan McCready, Wesley Stefano and Steinfeder. Unfortunately, both of the MDR Motorsport BMWs involved in that, so unfortunately, very bad day for MDR BMW, but hopefully for them, their luck will improve in races 2 and 3. And well done to Adam Taylor for winning race 1 here at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace. Also in that, I believe that will be the Constructors' Championship for Vodbull. Thanks for pointing that out for me. Well, guess who pointed that out to me there? Mike Pitman, who is actually the Vodbull team boss. In fact, he can hear me speak now, so well done very much for that, for your championship, Mike. Great year for you so far. And well, wrapping it up, two races to go. Of course, would still have been nerve-wracking going into the final round, and not having wrapped it up completely already. But you've wrapped it up now, as have your drivers, Rudy Van Buren, Adam Taylor. Doe Tapper, Christoph Raby, the rest of them. You've had quite a few drivers, actually, looking at the order. But yeah, that is the Constructors' Championship for Vodbull. So, a good season. And still 2 races to go. Now, we're going to have a quick 5-minute warm-up session before race 2. Some of the drivers just making their way back into the pits now. And then we're going to have another 5-minute warm-up session, followed by 2 more races. So don't go anywhere, because we still have a lot to come. Second place in the driver's title as well. I should be keeping track of the position. So right, I'm going to get a pencil quickly and write this down. Or I can write it on my exam timetable sheet. Don't need that anymore. Mock exam, rather. Of course, real exam's still to come. Oh, where's a pencil that works? Why do pencils never work? Does this pen work? Yes, it does, but only just. Right. I know I'm waffling a bit here. Right, okay, here we go. Right, who's in contention? We've got Matt Richards, Shepherd, McGlade, Franchik, and Fournier. So I'm going to abbreviate them on my sheet. Okay, so after that quick break, I've had no luck at all. My computer's playing all sorts of rubbish. I know I was completely waffling then. I couldn't draw or write and speak at the same time. I get so distracted. So sorry about that. But anyway, quick 5-minute warm-up session now, and then we will be into the second race. Still, a couple of people watching on the YouTube chat. Good evening to all of you. I know that this is also uploaded afterwards, so hello to everyone watching afterwards. Sadly, I can't reply to your questions or your comments afterwards, of course. Well, I can, but not on the broadcast. But yeah, if you are watching the broadcast and you have a statement or a question or a point of interest or something like that, or you just want to say hi, yeah, pop into the YouTube chat, type something, and I'll read it out if it's not too irrelevant. So 3 minutes to go in this brief warm-up session, and we're just waiting for the first laps to come through. Again, these make no difference in terms of the actual racing. It doesn't decide the grid or anything like that. The grid for race 2 is actually decided by the results of race 1, which means we are going to see Adam Taylor starting from the front of the field again, followed by Jeffrey Fournier, and then the rest of them. I'm just trying to find where I can find the results of the previous race on RaceView. If any of my trusty broadcast team can help me with that, then that would be much appreciated. You do need to hold my hand a little bit when it comes to technology. I'm not very good at it, but anyway. Oh gosh, I'm just seeing a screenshot that someone's posted on the GPVWC Discord channel of an incident that I obviously missed. It appears to have been at the start of... Well, this isn't it. Oh yeah, an incident that happened at the start of race 1. That appears to have been what took out Ryan Nash. It appears to be Nash, Oldcorn and Ruder who had a bit of a shunt midfield. Oh, and Ben Willis types, that MDR car landed on my roof. So obviously there was some kind of a big accident further down. Thanks, Mike Pitman. I found the results of the previous race now. Good old cameraman. There we go. Right. Right, now I can start waffling again, because I can finally write down the points that they've scored so far. Right, who have I got? Rick, that'll be Matt Richards. So Richards finished 12th. You're going to have to listen to my brain cogs turning for this one. So Richards finished 12th. That'll be 4 points. So 4 points so far to Matt Richards, as I write a very wonky and scruffy 4. There we go. Chris Shepherd finished 8th, and 8th is 8 points. Well, that's an easy one to remember. So 8th is 8 points. Lewis McGlade, other championship contender, finished 5th. And 5th is going to be 11 points. So McGlade scoring a good old points haul in his challenge. Then we have David Franchik. David or David? I'd better ask him about that between races. 4th place. Ooh, good old point score for Franchik there, with 13 points. 13 there. And then we have Jeffrey Fournier. And he actually did very well with a 2nd place. Actually led the race for a long time there. And of course, 2nd is 20 points. So, oh my goodness! Actually, the championship or the 2nd place in the championship challenges actually finished in reverse to each other. So Richards was at the back, followed by, well, not at the back of the order, but at the back of the 5 people chasing the second place spot in the championship, followed by Shepherd, McGlade, Franchik, and Fournier, which is funny because that's the opposite way around to how they are in the actual championship. Right, now for the task of working out who's still in mathematical contention. So, of course, with 2 races remaining, that means that they need to be within 50 points of Richards' point total. So, Richards scored 4 points, so he will be on 264. Shepherd then would be 23 points behind, but he gained. Yeah, he's going to be in contention. McGlade. Here we go. Oh, I'm reading all the wrong things now. McGlade would be. Okay, I'm going to abandon that for now because we're on the grid. All I know is that Chris Shepherd is still in contention. So that's all. So that's all fine. Also, I'm just being reminded that the top 5 for this race 2 have a success ballast for race 1. That's where the unpredictability comes from in race 2, and they're quite big weight ballasts as well. I mean, if I just search for the ballast, oh, here we go. Here are the penalties. So it's a 75 kilograms ballast for Adam Taylor, our winner from race 1. Jeffrey Fournier gets 60 kilograms, 45 for Tobias Olsen, 30 for David Franchik, and 15 for Lewis McGlade. So, again, as I'm reliably informed, or reminded rather, watch out for James Wilson starting in 6th position because he is the leading car on no weight extra. So he will be feeling very light in this next race, and I can imagine we might well see a charge through the order, but how high will he get? Of course, he initially qualified 2nd for race 1 before being dropped back due to a suspected, or probably a definite penalty. And he could definitely be one to look out for, because we've seen he's quick already. And, well, if he's quick and is light, then, well, not him personally, of course. I don't know what kind of diet any of these drivers are on, but in terms of the ballast, then he will be certainly one to look out for here. So we're on the formation lap for this race 2, and the order is Adam Taylor, followed by Jeffrey Fournier, Tobias Olsen in the Idols car, who I believe are just about to wrap up, or that they stand a very good chance this weekend of wrapping up 9th in the Constructors' Championship, which they've been looking forward to for a very long time. Then it's David Franchik, Lewis McGlade, James Wilson, Rob Mason, Chris Shepherd, Matthew Clipp, Adam Hodgkinson, Philip Morby, Matt Richards, Matthew Allington, Tristan Potters, Ben Willis, Eric Stanford, David Yunt, Adrian Campfield, David Tapper, Fabian Reeder, Richard Oldcorn, Ryan Nash, Stefan McCready, Wesley Stefano, and Stein Fidder. So all 25 drivers, it appears, will be starting this race 2. Often we see drivers dropping out and coming in for races 2 and 3, but we have all 25 of the original drivers this weekend in this next race. And I believe that what I didn't see there, and what you might have seen on your screen, was that Eric Sanford had a spin on the formation lap. Anyway, 4 lights, 5 lights, and go! We're underway here, and it's a good start from Jeffrey Fournier with the reduced weight, and he's going to get ahead of Adam Taylor again. So it's going to be Fournier leading into turn 1 for the 2nd time in 2 races. And look at Tobias Olsen as well, who almost does touch Adam Taylor through turn 1 there. Are we all through cleanly? Yes, we are. So everyone through turn 1 cleanly, through turn 2 cleanly. Someone runs over the grass. And oh gosh, someone's off. Adam Hodgkinson's off. He's taken someone else with him. I can't exactly see who that is. Oh, he hasn't taken anyone else with him. But anyway, there's been some sort of an incident there. And the order is Fournier, Taylor, Olsen, McGlade, Franchik, Shepherd, and Wilson, who are side by side for 6th. Watch that battle, as well as keeping an eye on the battle for the lead as well, if you happen to have 3 eyes. as also off in the background goes Dawei Tapper, but he resumes quite easily there. And it is Wilson in 6th now, but look at the leaders as Taylor sticks his nose to the inside, and that's going to turn into the outside, followed by the inside again, and then the outside most likely as Fournier tries to squeeze him to the outside of the circuit. But Taylor keeps his nose in there, and he is going to keep himself to the inside line. Now watch Tobias Olsen. Olsen is going for 2nd. Elise Skinner will be rubbing her hands with glee here as Tobias Olsen goes round the outside of Geoffrey Fournier. And Fournier actually I think is going to keep that, but Adam Taylor has taken the lead here. So it's Taylor from Fournier, but look at Olsen again up the inside of Geoffrey Fournier's car as we there's contact as we head up through the final corner of this Autodromo Jose Carlos Pathé lap. And also, Geoffrey Fournier is now going to be overtaken by Lewis McGlade. So McGlade sticks himself to the inside line. David Franchik is coming through as well. There's a huge sea of cars. And look at Olsen going round the outside of everyone. He's going to take the lead. What an overtake there from Tobias Olsen. And is he going to drag his way around the outside of Adam Taylor? This would be the best overtake I've seen all season if it does pay off, as he just sticks himself around 5 different cars. To be honest, even if he only overtakes 4 of them, that would be an amazing move anyway. Probably best of the season. Actually, I don't think it was quite 5 cars, but still, 2nd place for him. Oh, he's lost his bumper. He's hit Taylor, but he's got to the inside on the switchback. And Tobias Olsen does get through. Does he? He's running Taylor to the outside of the track. Look at Geoffrey Fournier. There's contact. There's a complete sandwich as off goes Tobias Olsen. So it's all come together, and Olsen has hit the wall very, very hard indeed. And that is an absolute disaster there for Tobias Olsen, who drops down through the order. We've already lost 2 drivers in Ben Willis and Adam Hodgkinson, but Olsen gets going again just behind his teammate Stein Fidder. And that is an absolute disaster up the front of the field. I could see it all getting so close up the front of the field. And now it's Taylor from McGlade, from Fournier, Franchik, Wilson, Shepherd, Mason, Morby, Richards and Clip. That's the top 10. My goodness, I should have had a drink of water between races 1 and 2. I will do between races 2 and 3. As Eric Sanford, I believe, or Stanford rather, makes a slight mistake, and he's going to drop now behind both of the IDOS Motorsport guys. And my voice can briefly return to normal for a second. But not for long, as we've got David Franchik side by side with James Wilson for 4th place. I said watch out for Wilson, didn't I? And he's going to go to the outside line. Keep it on the inside, not quite. So it's still Franchik from Wilson there, but Franchik will definitely come under attack now, down towards turn 4. Wilson, of course, with the lighter car here, and will he be able to drag his way past David Franchik? Not this time round. Also, we have a battle further down for the last few points positions. That's, well, not the last few points positions, but Matt Richards versus Matt Clip, and Richards gets the better of that. Also, Stefano Potters and Allington are side by side for 12th, 13th and 14th. Looks as if Stefano's going to get the better of that for now. But look at Tristan Potters actually going to the inside of both of them. No. So, doesn't quite actually get past any of them there, but it was a good... Oh, there's contact! Oh dear, and it's a good save from both of them actually to avoid further contact. Potters is going to have to wait for the rest of the field and give that back, because he did definitely gain advantage. I think he overtook Tapper was behind anyway, but he's going to have to wait for Allington surely. If he doesn't, then surely the race stewards will penalise him for that. Again, I'm not exactly a race steward, so I can't make the decision for myself, but... oh gosh, we're going 3 wide. The 2 IDOS Motorsport cars going side by side with Matthew Allington there, and that could have been very hairy indeed for IDOS, as Stein Fidder runs out and over the grass, allowing Allington back up the inside. This is for 16th position, so not even in the points, but Elise Skinner would have just wet herself with that, as Allington keeps his nose to the inside, and Allington does indeed get through there. So Allington ahead of the 2 IDOS Motorsport cars, as Potters and Stefano make contact, and Stefano's going to go round. He gets clipped by Dawei Tapper, and Stefano has spun at turn 1. Facing backwards, gets it going, don't get collected. Richard Olcon's the next car through. I believe that Wesley Stefano is going to get himself going without contact, so that's good. Indeed, he does. just ahead of his teammate Ryan Nash, who I believe also got involved in an incident earlier on in this race. Oh, fourth place, getting very, very close now. James Wilson had a very speculative look up the inside of David Franchik for fourth, but certainly was enough to get my heart racing there. As we have Allington and Olsen side by side again for 15th. I know I'm jumping up and down the order here. It's very hard not to in a race like this. But there's just, you don't know where to look. I know I keep saying that, but you really don't. As James Wilson and Chris Shepherd now battle over 5th position. I apologise to my cameraman. Oh gosh. As we head into the final sector of this lap, still the battle for the lead hasn't really changed. Hasn't really got that much of a gap in it either. I mean, there's still less than a second between those two, so don't count that over yet. Lewis McGlade might well have an attack later on in this race on Adam Taylor. You never know what's going to happen. Of course, McGlade running a lighter car than Taylor in this race, as we have Rob Mason and Matt Richardson, Philip Morby side by side for 8th position. And look at Matt Clip up the inside of both of them. Not quite past Richards, but he's going to get past Philip Morby here, is he? They're going to go side by side again. They bang wheels through turn 2, and Clip keeps ahead through turn 3. So Clip keeps his nose ahead, and he will get 9th position through turn 3. Also, we have Fournier and Franchik fighting over 3rd, and Franchik gets it. So Franchik now up into 3rd position and the final podium spot, and James Wilson wants in on that as well, as he goes around the outside of Geoffrey Fournier, and it looks as if he's going to get him. So that's all changed, and Fournier's going to lose another place to his teammate Chris Shepherd. Has Geoffrey Fournier got some kind of a problem here? Have his tyres gone off? Well, something like that. Fournier lost 3 positions in as many corners there. Maybe not even that, in 2 corners in fact. So unfortunate there for Geoffrey Fournier, and he might lose another position to Rob Mason, who is looking very hungry on his tail now. The gap for the lead has come down by 0.2 of a second in that last sector. Lewis McGlade might well be lining himself up for an attack very, very soon, and I'm not entirely sure, but that might well happen on the very next lap. And let's see what happens here. I'm going to watch the gap as we cross the finish line. Across we go now, and it's 0.6 for the lead, but look at 3rd, as Franchik is going to have to defend from James Wilson, who sticks his nose to the outside. Wilson, I said, would be one to look out for. Mike Pitman said he'd be one to look out for in the Discord chat. And indeed, he is now challenging for a 3rd place. And to the outside he goes, down into turn 4. Will Wilson be able to outbrake David Franchik here? Not quite. Also, we had Shepherd and Mason side by side as well. Oh, and side by side again for 3rd. Wilson is going to get up the inside of David Franchik. He got the switchback and he's got through. So it's 2nd and 3rd now for the Aurora Motorsport guys, as James Wilson moves ahead of David Franchik, who's going to come under attack from Chris Shepherd. There's contact. Not big contact, but still contact nonetheless, as Campfield, Potters and Tapper go 3 wide. Just saw that out of the corner of my eye, but they went 3 wide through turn 5. And Campfield is going to get Potters, will he? Oh no, Potters is going to get ahead of Campfield, and I really want to be biased in this one because I have been racing a few rounds for Rowan, but can't do that. As we head out onto the back straight again, Allington and Tapper now side by side, just ahead of the 2 IDOS Motorsport guys. So IDOS could still salvage some points from this if these two hold each other up too much. In fact, there was a slight tap between the 2 of them that time around. Also, I believe Lewis McGlade's made a slight mistake in the final sector, actually, because he's dropped slightly back from Adam Taylor, and he's actually coming under attack from his teammate now. In fact, Lewis McGlade has dropped outside of the 1 second buffer from Adam Taylor, so this could still all change, as we're over half of the way through the race now. I'm also reminded by Mike Pitman that this is Kernow's last race in the GPVWC. Of course, Rob Mason racing for Kernow, currently running 6th. Good result for them. I was going to say that it was Kernow's last race in the GPVWC because I did know that stat. I just completely forgot to say it earlier. But But anyway, we have Wilson out to the inside of McGlade down into turn 5, and Wilson moves to second. So whether that was tactical by the team, knowing that James Wilson was on less of a less ballast than Lewis McGlade, I'm not entirely sure. If I was the team, I certainly would have let them race, because I know that Lewis McGlade is fighting for second in the championship and James Wilson isn't. But of course, I'm not the team, and I don't know if they I mean, well, we saw him race 1. They certainly are allowed to race at times. So, yeah. Well, that position's changed, and it is now Taylor, Wilson, McGlade, Franchik, and Shepherd. Those are the top 5. And they are still separated by less than 2.5 seconds. So it could still all change here for any of those top 5 positions as we head out onto the start-finish straight. Look at Chris Shepherd. He is getting very racy on the back of David Franchik. I love the body language, or how you can tell the body language of... or how you can tell how they're racing by the body language of the different cars. There's another sandwich! There's another sandwich as Franchik gets completely sandwiched between Shepherd and McGlade there, down towards turn 1. And that very nearly came to blows. I believe there was slight contact, but somehow the positions there all stay the same, as Adrian Campfield and Tristan Potters battle hard over 12th position. Potters tries the Max Verstappen line through turn 3, but it doesn't quite work out for him, particularly this time around. But they are still side by side now, down towards turn 4. Potters to the outside. No, that's not going to work. Although he might get the switchback here, as Allington and Tapper fight behind them. And Tapper and Allington are going to go side by side down in turn 5. Allington with the inside. Allington gets to play, so Allington 14th for now. Also, the gap for the lead has now dropped back to less than a second. So, 3 Hondas for the lead of this race. And it's pretty much uncallable between Adam Taylor and James Wilson so far. Wilson, I believe, has the slightly faster best lap so far, with a 1:37.941. Indeed, that is faster than Adam Taylor's fastest lap so far. I'm also being thanked for the sandwich by Nico Barclay. That's another inside joke there. But anyway, across the line again. It's very, very close for the lead here, down to 0.2 of a second. That is coming really, really close, as Franchik and Shepherd almost overlap again down into turn 1. There's an overlap there pretty much every single lap at some point in the top 5, as Campfield, Allington and Potters battle. Contact! Oh dear! Allington gets tipped sideways, but again saves it, just like he did earlier in the accident with oh, who was it earlier? I completely forgotten. Was it Tristan Potters? I believe it was Tristan Potters. But anyway, Potters now back into the slipstream of Dawe Tapper, as Wilson pops to the inside, to the outside of James Wilson, down of Adam Taylor rather, down towards turn 5, and that very nearly changed. We had a side-by-side moment for the lead there, and oh my goodness, just to prove how close that was, the last checkpoint there indicated that they were 0.011 apart. Also, we've had another retirement from this race, unfortunately. It's Ryan Nash again. He retired from race 1. Oh, Eric Stanford's in the wall. So we've had another incident there with Eric Stanford in the barrier down at what looks like turn 3. Now, I'm going to keep my eyes on the lead battle here as we head out towards the final corner of the lap, because this is close. And with the addition of the slipstream, Wilson really could challenge Taylor here. As we head across the start-finish line. He's going to pop his nose to the outside already getting the overlap, and we've seen a few people dragging their way around the outside down into turn 1 here, although Taylor breaks slightly later here and keeps the place for now. So, although Wilson, you can see he's taking the tighter line on the entry just to get the better exit speed here, and that might well pay off as we head down towards turn 4. And they are going to go side by side again. So who's going to brake later this time? It's going to be last of the late breakers here. Taylor has the advantage with the inside line, but look at Wilson dragging his way right around the outside. He runs over the grass slightly, and these two are not going to lift off at any point. In fact, Wilson has the inside line. He's kept his nose there, and this might be the lead for James Wilson. It is! So, James Wilson takes the lead down through turn 5. He started 6th on the grid. Of course, had the advantage of not having the success ballast, as I see Tapper passing Allington out of the corner of my eye, but Allington gets it straight back again through turn 5. But still, James Wilson. Oh, and he's side by side again with Adam Taylor. Taylor out trying to outbrake Wilson, and that's not quite going to work because he's going to have the outside line here. Going into the final sector, it's just left-handers from now on in the lap, but they have been side by side so much on this lap. We are on the penultimate lap of the race, heading on to the final lap now, and yeah, onto the start-finish line again. Who's getting the slipstream this time? We are side by side for second. McGlade to the outside of Taylor, and Taylor again thinks this is very familiar, seeing the new pink Aurora car on his outside, and again outbreaks him. But if it is indeed very familiar, and if we are going to get a complete deja vu of last lap, then McGlade is going to switch to his inside, or keep round the outside rather, around turn 4. Although he might not be able to do that because Franchik was there, so McGlade not pulling over to avoid contact with Franchik, but he's going to keep the overlap on Taylor by going and getting the switch back here. Now, will he drag around the outside of Taylor here? Of course not. That's a very difficult place to do it. And we never really see it done as Shepherd dives to the inside of Franchik for 4th. There's contact there as Shepherd kicks out the rear end. That was all nicely controlled though, as Shepherd attacks again on this final lap of the race. Again, there's contact as we head through the second part of the Senna S's. It's just left-handers from here as James Wilson is going to exit the final. The top 3 guys are still separated by less than a second here. This could be anyone's game with the slipstream, although I believe that James Wilson just about has enough because he hasn't made a mistake coming out of the penultimate corner here. And through the final turn, James Wilson is going to make it a win from second place, but look, or from 6th place rather, but look at second place, which could all change. James Wilson wins it. He crosses the line now. Adam Taylor is going to hold on just to second place, followed by McGlade, Franchik, Shepherd, Mason, Richards, Fournier, Clip, Morby, and then it's going to be Yunt, Campfield, who's going to cross the line in 12th now. Allington, Tapper and Potters are going to cross the line after them, followed by Fidder and Olsen, who could have had so much more from this race if the incident hadn't happened while he was fighting for the lead of the race with Taylor and Fournier. Then it's Fabian Ruder in 18th. Richard Oldcorn is going to come home in 19th, followed by Stefano, McCready and Stanford. Oldcorn hasn't quite finished yet. We're just waiting for him to come round now. He finishes now. Wesley Stefano is going to cross the line in 20th now. McCready, Stanford crosses the line a lap down in 22nd now. And McCready will be the last of the finishers in 21st when he crosses the line after this. He's coming through the final corner. There he goes. So everyone has finished. And a very well done to James Wilson for winning this race. And it was a very good battle from everyone involved. Yes, it did come together briefly with, or rather heavily rather, with Tobias Olsen, and that did cost Tobias Olsen a chance of a good result. And actually, because he finished 17th, he won't actually be in contention for the reverse grid, which is any place from 11th to 15th. So Tobias Olsen won't get the reverse grid pole here, which he would have been going for, and he would definitely have wanted, but that has not happened. That's not gone his way. The reverse grid could here go to David Yunt, Adrian Campfield, Matt Ellington, Dowie Tapper, or Tristan Potters. Now, as it comes to the actual championship, we have Matt Richards finishing 7th. He has scored well, he scored 4 points in race 1. He scored 7 in race 2. If I just get out my trusty little sheet again. So 4, 7. And that will, so that's 13 points extra, and that will put him on 273 points. And then Chris Shepherd, I think I'll only concentrate on Chris Shepherd because actually I should concentrate on McGlade as well. So McGlade scored 11 in race 1 and 16 in this. And Shepherd would have scored he would have scored 5 in this. So I'm just going to go for a quick break now. I believe we're going to have the clip played again on the screen, but I'm going to go for a quick maths break and a quick drink break, and then I will be right back for race 3. And we're back. So we are very close for very close for the third race. That's coming up very shortly. Just after a quick 5-minute warm-up session again. Many drivers will opt not to actually do this warm-up session because they'll want a quick break, just like I just had between races 2 and 3. I was actually speaking to who was I speaking to that said they tend not to do the warm-up session between races 2 and 3. I think it was Kasper Kołodziejczyk. I hope I said that right. Who was saying that about Formula Challenge with races 1 and 2 because they don't have a third race. But often it is just best to get your breath back and not push it too badly. A couple of guys will still go out though. Tobias Olsen and Matt Klipp I can see going out onto the road now. Again, different drivers have different preferences. Adam Taylor, oh my word, Tobias Olsen has just rolled in the pit lane. I have never seen that before. That was really dramatic. He went for quite a long way actually. Oops is the word for that. That's a very me-ish mistake. As in, that's the kind of thing that I'd do. A couple of guys struggling to get past him in the pits now, actually, but they've cleared him nicely. That's going to be a little bit of an embarrassment for Tobias Olsen there. Oh dear, but oh well. At least you can't see that on the broadcast now. It appears we have a bit of a rivalry going on between IDOS and YTF1 for 9th in the Constructors' Championship as well. They've been sizing each other up for weeks, and finally they get to to decide that position. That won't be for 9th, actually. That'll be for 11th. So I don't know why I said 9th, but anyway. So our Drivers' Championship is confirmed. Constructors' Championship is confirmed. What isn't confirmed is 2nd place in the Drivers' Championship. And I've just got the oh, here we go. I've got the points here. So Richards is on 273 points. McGlade is 11 points behind on 262. Shepherd is on 260, which is 13 points behind. And David Franchik is 33 points behind on 240. So Franchik is now out of contention for that 2nd place in the championship. And it's just now between Richards, McGlade, and Shepherd. I presume that Fournier is also out of contention. Did score quite big points in race 1, though, Geoffrey Fournier. But anyway, still Fournier 218 points. So Fournier will not be in contention. Thanks for that, Mike. My maths is nowhere near as quick as yours. So that means that if Matt Richards wins this next race, he will be 2nd place in the Constructors' Championship, of course. And looking at the order now, it also means that if oh, here we go. So if Chris Shepherd is going to get 2nd in the championship, he needs oh gosh, I'm clicking all the wrong buttons. Where's the, oh gosh, I'm terrible. I'm doing it with one hand because I've got my other hand on the other keyboard doing something completely different. But okay, right. So for Lewis McGlade, who has actually overtaken Chris Shepherd in the championship now, to finish 2nd in the championship, he needs 11 points. Yep, 11 points. That's right. So if he finishes 1st, he will need Matt Richards. Oh, where's 4th? Oh, okay. He'll need Matt Richards 4th. If he's 2nd, he will need Matt Richards to be 7th. If he's 3rd, he will need Matt Richards to be 11th. And if he's 4th, he will need Matt Richards 14th or lower. This is all of them are or lower. And if he's 5th, then he'll need Matt Richards to finish outside of the point. Also, we have a few other drivers in contention as well. Chris Shepherd is 13 points back, so that will be if Shepherd wins and McGlade doesn't score within 2 points of him. Now we have to sum up the others as well, so this is going to get really confusing. Then he needs Richards 5th. If he's 2nd, I'm going to completely ignore McGlade for these. But if Shepherd is 2nd, then he needs Richards 9th, and if he's 3rd, he needs Richard 13th, and if he's 4th, then he needs Richards out of the points. And as for David Franchik, he needs. Oh no, he's out of contention, isn't he? So we've got 3 guys in contention for this 2nd place in the championship, and that sums up, hopefully, how they can finish 2nd in this championship. So we just had the checkered flag for race 2, and what is the reverse grid draw? Have we had the reverse grid drawn yet? Yeah, we have done. It could be anywhere from 11th to 15th. It is, and my thing reset. Right. Okay, it's loaded in now, and it's Adrian Campfield on pole. So James Wilson, the winner of last round, is 12th, meaning the top 12 cars must have been reversed. And the order is now Adrian Campfield on pole, followed by David Yunt. So, oh my goodness, it's the two THR BMWs on pole position here. So THR having a very, very good grid position for this one. followed by Philip Morby, Matt Clipp, Jeffrey Fournier, Matt Richards, Rob Mason, Chris Shepherd, championship contender, or second place in the championship contender, of course, with Matt Richards, Lewis McGlade, who is second place in the championship contender with both of those. Then it's Adam Taylor, James Wilson, Matthew Allington, David Tapper, Tristan Potters, Stein Fidder, Tobias Olsen, Fabian Ruder, Richard Oldcorn, Wesley Stefano, Stefan McCready, Eric Stanford, Ben Willis, Adam Hodgkinson, and Ben Horrell. Now, Ben Horrell we haven't seen in races 1 or 2, but he's in race 3, so I wonder who's dropped out. I'm trying to look through the order to see who's dropped out. Is it Ryan Nash? It's Ryan Nash. So we've lost Ryan Nash from the order, as Rob Mason's going to be starting from the pits. So Rob Mason, who would have started from 7th position in Kernow's last race, is actually going to start from the pits, and I wonder whether that was either tactical or whether he just didn't make it out in time. If that is the case, then that is very disappointing for him. But whatever the case, Rob Mason is not going to be starting this race on the road. He will be starting this race from the pit lane, but at least he'll be starting the race at all, as we're heading away on our formation lap now. So Adrian Campfield leads the field around, just ahead of his THR teammate David Yunt, and that team stands a serious chance of some points in this event. Another 11-lap race, and the weight penalties for this race, of course, are the same as the top 6 in the last race were. So that means that James Wilson will have a 75-kilogram penalty. Adam Taylor will have a 60-kilogram penalty. Lewis McGlade will have 45. David Franchik will have a 30-kilogram penalty. And Chris Shepherd will have a 15-kilogram penalty. So Lewis McGlade and Chris Shepherd both having a weight penalty in this race, and this could really play into the hands of Matt Richards here, because Richards needs them to not beat him by too much in this race, if they beat him at all, to wrap up the championship, or second in the championship here. So this could all change really, or all go the way of Matt Richards here, and we'll have to see how it goes. Anyway, just watching Adrian Campfield heading to the grid. He of course is on pole, and it's a THR Motorsport 1-2 so far, and if they can hold it there, they will be absolutely thrilled with this race. Surely Campfield parks it, or doesn't park it, because he's actually still away from his grid box, but he's going to park it on pole position there. We're just waiting for... Oh, Ben Horrell starting from the pits. So Ben Horrell did the formation lap. Now he's pulled into the pit lane. Probably because he didn't do qualifying. And he will be... Actually, he's making a proper pit stop here. But anyway, we're on the grid and the lights are coming on. No, they're not. Where are the lights? This is a long hold. Who's not in position? I think they probably had to wait for Ben Horrell's pit stop. In fact, Horrell's now retired. But anyway, here come the lights, and it's 4, 5... And go! Oh, it's a slight jump start, and Campfield stalls it. It was a slight jump start from Adrian Campfield there. He was just creeping on the grid, and then, oh, he didn't quite stall it. It was just kind of the bogging down of him trying not to jump the start. But I'm wondering whether he did or not. But Campfield does lead it away for now, followed by Yunt and Fournier, and Richards make slight contact as Morby is going to get up the inside of Richards, and they make contact too. Richards down to 5th. Then it's Shepherd, who is now looking at Matt Richards as we head down towards turn 4. And are we all through turn 1 cleanly? Ben Horrell is actually in the order here, as is... Oh, it looks like Richard Oldcorn's had a bit of a spin or an accident or something, but he's got going again, so it's all okay there. Oh, big off. That's Ben Willis. So Ben Willis has had a big off, and he is... Oh, he's crashed. He's hit the wall, his rear wings come off, and oh, big crash in the midfield. Oh, that's for 7th. Oh my word. And around and off goes Matt Clipp. Is anyone else involved? Hopefully none of the title game. Chris Shepherd is off. Chris Shepherd is off at turn 5, and I didn't see how that all kicked off, and it's all kicking off again. There's absolute carnage. Fabian Rude is off. There's an absolute mess in the midfield. as Potts is going to pop to the inside of everyone. And, oh, up onto 2 wheels goes Ben Horrell. And this has been one of the messiest starts I've ever seen to an ITC race, apart from race 1 at Adelaide this year. But my goodness, what drama we just had in the mid pack and at the head of the mid pack as well. It looks as if Tristan Potter just got tipped into a slight spin in the mid pack, and everyone just got bunched up behind him. Now we're going second, or side by side for second as Campfield locks up, and Yunt came under attack from Fournier briefly, but Yunt keeps that for now. Morby and Richards are fighting for 4th as well. Morby gets ahead. Of course, Richards can't afford to make any errors now, because he is fighting for 2nd in the championship, and if he finishes where he is now, he will wrap it up as Yunt pops to the inside of Geoffrey Fournier in this, the final ITC race of 2017. Geoffrey Fournier gets to switch back and pops to the inside of David Yunt. He's going to be on the outside for turn 5. Are they going to make it cleanly through cleanly this time? Fournier is going to drag his way around right around the outside, is he? If he can keep his nose there round this next corner. Oh, he's done it! He's done it before the corner in the braking zone. That's amazing from Geoffrey Fournier to get up to 2nd place around the outside of turn 5. That's a really, really brave move, and I wasn't expecting that to work. In terms of retirements after this first lap, out of the race we have Adam Hodgkinson, Chris Shepherd, who will not wrap up 2nd place in the championship in the most dramatic of fashions. So dreadfully disappointing from Chris Shepherd. And then it's Ben Willis in 15th, who is also out of the race. Big rollover for Ben Horrell. Ben Horrell has rolled in the centre S's, and he has dropped right out of the points now. He was running very near the points there, but he has ended his race upside down. Oh no, he's got going, so he hasn't ended his race, but big roll from Ben Horrell. Just hearing news from Chris Williamson that the THR starts will be reviewed after the race. Now that's very interesting, because I only saw Adrian Campfield creeping on the grid and I wasn't looking at David Yunt, but if he says the THR starts, then it might be that David Yunt was also creeping on the grid, or they think he might have been. But anyway, that will be reviewed after the race. So unfortunately, it looks as if the starts, or the order of this race won't be confirmed until after the race, as Richards and McGlade go side by side for 4th here, and Richards is going to keep the inside there, so Richards back up in, or keeps 4th position rather. Where's Philip Morby gone? He's down into 8th. He was up in 4th a second ago, so maybe something's happened with Morby. Maybe he's just dropped down the order a bit. Maybe he had a mistake or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. The leaders are getting very close now, as Fournier is obviously getting very racy on the back of Adrian Campfield's car. He believes he's the quicker driver, and he wants to get past Campfield as quickly as he possibly can. And will he launch a move to the inside of the penultimate corner here? No, he prefers to get the slipstream down the start-finish straight. This could all change this time round. The gap is 1/10 of a second. And this is getting very, very close for the lead of the race. Will Fournier dart to the inside of turn 1? Will he be forced to the outside of turn 1? He's going to the inside here as we head down the start-finish straight and across the start-finish line, and he's going to get the inside, but Campfield outbrakes him. No, he doesn't. So Campfield goes wide, and it is Geoffrey Fournier who leads this race. So Fournier leads the final race of the ITC season here, followed by Campfield, Yunt, Richards, and McGlade. So that is the order so far. And looking back through the order, I believe that there haven't been any more incidents since last time I looked. Don't discount Adrian Campfield yet, though. If he can get the slipstream this lap or next lap on Geoffrey Fournier, he might be able to launch another attack. It looks to me like Fournier is probably the quicker of the two drivers, but still, you never know what kind of mistakes a driver can make, even the best of drivers, as Olsen and Franchik went almost side by side down into turn 5, and that's getting quite close with Philip Morby and Adam Taylor as well. And the order now is Fournier, Campfield, Yunt, Richards, McGlade, Olsen, Franchik, Morby, Taylor, Wilson, Allington, Mason, Tapper, Stefano and Clip. Those are the top 15. Those are the people who are going to score points in this race if they finish as they are now. Stein Fidder is out of the race. So Unfortunately, it looks as if we've lost one of the Idos Motorsport cars. Of course, they have another guy running very well in 6th position. Of course, started something like 16th in this race, so it would have been 17th actually. But Tobias Olsen having a good start to this race so far. And it looks as if the game did register the starts for Campfield and Yunt as jump starts. However, they haven't taken them, and the drive-through has actually been removed from those two guys by the race stewards, who are going to investigate that incident after the race. Temporarily removed, I should say, as Olsen and Franchik go side by side for 6th. Franchik's not going to get that just yet, and Morby and Taylor are going side by side for 8th as well. Morby's going to roll it! Morby rolls it over the curb and into the wall. So hopefully he doesn't get too much damage for that, because of course in this simulator you can roll cars back over again like so and get them going, as he is doing. And he's still in the points. No, he's dropped outside of the points now, but still, that's very unfortunate for Philip Morby, and I hope he hasn't got too much damage, because I know how easy it is to roll it over a curb. It can happen, and it does happen, and unfortunately it did happen. So Philip Morby now down in 18th position after that rather hefty whack with the barriers, rather hefty upside down whack with the barriers. Just seeing it again on replay, it appears rather glitchy actually. I'm not entirely sure if just my cameraman's connection or whether it was glitchy for Morby as well. It certainly didn't look that laggy on my screen, but I don't know. But anyway, the two THR guys are getting quite close now as well. Adrian Campfield and David Yunt. They are pretty close as they head through turns 1 and 2. Again, I don't know what the team orders is like within that team, if they have any at all. If they're not fighting for the championship, so I'm not entirely sure whether there would be, but of course we've seen team orders all the way through the field in the past. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see how it pays out. Currently the gap is just over 0.2 of a second, although just over to the extent that it makes pretty much no difference. As we head through turn 5, slight lock-up for David Yunt there in 3rd position. Still, even though THR aren't leading this race anymore, it would be a fantastic result for them if they were to wrap up this win here. Or, well, if they were to wrap up this race like this, because it would be 2nd and 3rd. So, 2nd and 3rd for the THR guys. And that would certainly be a good result for them. THR currently has their leading driver. Oh, where is he actually? I can't find it. Oh, it's Chris Butcher actually, who isn't here. But Chris Butcher is 8th in the drivers' standings, and THR themselves is 7th in the constructors' standings, just ahead of Schroten and behind Zederek. 21 points behind Zederek. So I believe that if they finish like they are now, they might actually 6th in the championship, because they would be scoring how many points would they be scoring for this? They'd be scoring 36, I believe. Yep, just double check that, and that's right. So, and Zederek won't be scoring quite as much. So I believe that they would wrap this up. But look at Matt Richards now right on the rear of David Yunt. Of course, Richards going for 2nd in the championship. He has it if the order stays as it is, but he wants more than just that. He has to be careful though, because if he goes for a position and then loses more, like we saw him doing in race 1, then it could all be over. But gets it turned in rather nicely. Runs slightly over the grass at turn 4, but still no incident here, luckily. Ben Horrell, I'm afraid, is out of the race. We saw him having a big rollover earlier, but he has now officially retired from this race. So unfortunately, we've lost a driver, as Yunt comes under attack again from Matt Richards. But Richards has to stay behind for now. Very twisty section of the track there. You can pull overtakes in these NRSs because there are braking points there, but still not easy to get past someone who's defending well. And Yunt is defending well. As Mason and Tapper went side by side for 11th there, and Mason gets the better of Tapper for now. Now, what's the battle for third as we head down the straight? It's BMW 1, 2, 3, 4. But the order of them might well change as Matt Richards pokes to the outside of David Yunt, who tries to brake as late as he dares. Campfield and Yunt both brake slightly too late and lock up slightly, but that does allow Yunt to stay ahead of Richards for now and keep the double THR podium, which we might well see here. But that's not the end of Matt Richards' opportunities, because Richards has another slipstreaming straight here, followed by several opportunities later on in the race. Not close enough quite this time round, as there's contact between Tristan Potts and Stefan McCready for the final point scoring position in 15th. And McCready is going to get that for now, but Fabian Ruder is right behind the two of them as well, so that could all change as Mason and Tapper go side by side for 11th again. Mason has the inside line there, and it's all changing all the way through the order, really. And Mason goes defensive and keeps 11th for now. Now, the third place battle is still close, as is, well, second place too. I'm wondering whether Yunt believes that Campfield will drop behind Richards if they are pitched into a 1v1 battle. So I'm sort of wondering whether Yunt is trying to hold up the field behind him so that the team can get the best possible result here with a second and a third. And that is very sportsmanlike driving from David Yunt in terms of the Constructors' Championship here. If he can just hold off Matt Richards, then it will be a double podium for the team and probably their first great result of the season. Well, they did get a win at Le Mans, and that was with Chris Butcher, who isn't here today, but it would be certainly one of the best combined results of the team. Oh, they actually got 2 wins. Another one with Chris Butcher came at Zandvoort in race 3, so that could all change. We're entering the final 30%, final 3 laps rather, or 30% of a race in this ITC Championship. So not much time left to go. This is the last opportunity that many people will get to improve their championship positions, to wrap up championship positions, to wrap up championship positions in terms of the team's championship as well. And Yunt versus Richards is one very interesting one, because Richards doesn't necessarily need to get past Yunt here, because of course Richards would wrap up second in the championship where he is. Although look at him going around the outside of David Yunt now. Oh, getting the switchback in fact. Will he launch to the inside of the penultimate corner? Yes, he will. And that's all clean, but he doesn't get through there. Oh, but look at McGlade. McGlade is up the inside of Matt Richards here through the final corner, and McGlade gets ahead. So McGlade up into 4th, and that's exactly what Matt Richards did not want to do. He would still finish second in the Drivers' Championship if they finished like this. But McGlade, I don't really see why Richards challenged for that one, because if he just stayed behind, he's actually almost being forced against the pit wall here. All nice and clean though from David Yunt as we head through turns 1 and 2. As Yunt and McGlade battle over third, and Yunt's going off. Yunt's come back on again right into the side of Matt Richards, forces him wide, and Richards might start to lose places here to Tobias Olsen and David Franchik. And there's contact as Yunt and Franchik make contact, and they both hit the wall, and that's big contact for both of them. I'd be surprised if either of them got away without suspension damage there. And that does put Matt Richards back up into 4th place. Again, as it stands, Matt Richards would get second in the Constructors' Drivers' Championship. I am wondering why, as I keep saying, why he did go for that move though, because if he just managed to hold stations, he would have been champion. As David Yunt is taking a very wide line, in fact off the circuit round the whole of turn 4. I'm wondering whether he feels the suspension damage is too strong and he's just kind of trying to assess it and wonder whether it's worth continuing in the race for. But whatever happened, we just saw contact between 2 big cars in the order, and unfortunately, they both went into the wall. Looking at David Franchik now, I'm wondering whether he has suspension damage. I believe he does, actually, because he's actually steering right on a left-hander corner. So that's never a good sign when you're steering slightly right on a left-hander. And he's also lost his front bumper, which doesn't really make that much of a difference. But still, we're on the final lap of the championship now, with Franchik side-by-side with Wilson for 7th position. And Fournier has completely gone into the distance in the lead of this race, as Wilson tries to take the attacking lines on David Franchik. He's going to try and get the slipstream down the straight where Franchik had his accident last lap. And they're going to go side by side down into turn 4, but Franchik keeps it for now on the inside. Wilson drags his way around the outside but runs slightly off. Can he keep his nose in though? Not quite. Although he's going for it again. To the inside, to the outside. Franchik covers those very, very well. Oh no, you don't, he says. But he probably can't defend from Wilson down into here. Oh, he does. Now it's just left-handers to go for Geoffrey Fournier, who is heading through the final sector of this entire championship. Geoffrey Fournier, who has been right up there for this entire championship, but has rarely brought home a result. He won one race in Poznan. That was race 3 there. Came second in a couple of races. Oh, no, in one race in Zandvoort. Might have been higher up in the championship if he hadn't retired from all 3 races at Donington. But out at the final corner he comes, and Geoffrey Fournier seals another win in the ITC. That's his 2nd of the season. Adrian Campfield is 2nd, followed by Lewis McGlade, Tobias Olsen, and Matt Richards, who does drop to 5th in the end. Adam Taylor and James Wilson are going to cross the line 6th and 7th from David Franchik. Matthew Allington, Rob Mason, Dawe Tapper, who is going to cross the line side by side with Rob Mason, pretty much, not quite. Matthew Clipp, 12th. Then it's Tristan Potters, who's going to seal points in all 3 races for Rowan here, despite his incident on the first lap of this race. Then it's Wesley Stefano and Fabian Ruder, who wraps up another point for Rowan. And then it's Stefan McCready, David Yunt, who is just going to finish now. These drivers, of course, outside of the points-paying positions here. Yunt is 17th. Richard Oldcorn is just bringing his car home in 18th. We still have 3 guys left to finish this race. We have Richard Oldcorn, who is going to bring home his MDR car in... Schroden car, rather. Don't know why I said MDR. Schroden car in 18th. Philip Morby bringing home the other Schroden car. Very damaged Schroden car after that incident earlier in 19th. Just ahead of Eric Stanford in 20th. Then we had 5 DNFs in Ben Horrell, Stein Fidder, Adam Hodgkinson, Chris Shepherd, and Ben Willis. Now, do we have interviews or do we not? Because we have... we haven't really had an ITC broadcast in a while, and I'm wondering how many people actually know we're doing this. So I'm going to wait to see if we do have an interview. Oh, we do have someone in the interview room. I'm just going to quickly post a message. Interviews are available. There we go. And I'm going to not bring in whoever was in the interview room there because they've just left it. So, well... Still, well done to Geoffrey Fournier for his win in race 3 here at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace in a great day of racing. Very enjoyable one. Well, great depending on who you ask, of course. But anyway, also well done to Rudy Van Buren for his championship. He wrapped that up a while ago, but still, that just proves how utterly dominant he has been. Not even turning up to the 2 final rounds of the championship due to commitments with McLaren. But anyway, that... yeah, it just proves how amazing he's been this season. Missing 6 races out of 18 and still winning the championship by a considerable margin. Just waiting to see if a few interviews are going to happen. I don't know if they are. I think I'll give them two more minutes possibly while I waffle a little bit. So going through the championship order, that means that Matt Richards does indeed wrap up 2nd place in this driver's title. of course, first was already wrapped up by Rudy Van Buren. And then third, I believe, would have been Lewis McGlade with that. So McGlade, yeah, because he finished ahead of Chris Shepherd and was ahead of him anyway. So McGlade third, Shepherd fourth, and then Franchik fifth. So those are the top 5 in the Drivers' Championship. And the Constructors' Championship reads as Vodbull, Epic Racing Team, Aurora Motorsport, Doug Henderson, Doug Henson, not Doug Henderson, that's an IndyCar team, Drake, THR, and followed by Zederick. But of course, THR's start is under investigation. And then it is Schroten, Cosmo, Kernow, YTF1, IDOS. Oh, actually, IDOS moved ahead of YTF1 with that. Slipstream, Rowan, MDR. MDR might have moved up a few places there, actually. Elite and Ice Cold. So, a couple of interviews about to take place. We do have a couple. And first of all, I'm going to bring in our second place championship driver. And I moved us all into the wrong chat. Well, that was pretty awful,
that was all a bit jumpy.
that was indeed. But Matt Richards, do you realise that you've just mathematically wrapped up second place in the Drivers' Championship?
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah, that was a worry at the start of the round with my pace, but pretty happy with that.
Oh, I'm just getting the stats in through now, actually. Richards, 284 points. McGlade, 278. So 6 points in it there. I mean, that was a tense race, especially race 3, where you were being attacked by McGlade and you were attacking Yunt at the same time. Surely you had no idea where it was going to go. Talk us through race 3 in particular.
Knowing that I was going to start in front of the two that I needed to be ahead of, a little bit of an advantage. It was the thing that I was trying to play for the first 2 races, because I knew that they were both a lot quicker than me. So to be in front of them was definitely an advantage, and I just needed to make as many positions as possible. And then I got stuck behind David, and I was trying to make anything that would work. And I think one time I tried it into the corner at the bottom of the hill, and I couldn't back out. And going into the corner, I knew, McGlade's going to have the run here. And then he got past me, and I was like, right, I really need to work on it now. But then there was an incident with David, so that took some pressure off. And then I was trying to attack Lewis. I think either second to last lap or last lap, I went for the outside in sector 2 and just didn't get enough grip. Slid out wide and lost 4th then. So just bringing the car home, hoping that it was enough, really.
And well done for it. For it, because you did wrap up second in the championship. So while Rudy Van Buren was long gone, we still had a championship battle in that race, and it was highly entertaining. So I feel the need to thank you for that, actually. But,
no problem at all.
Right, now in next we're going to bring okay, maybe we're not going to bring in who I just thought we are. Okay, we are right. Jeffrey Fournier. So Jeffrey, hello, can you hear us?
Hello.
Good. Right, a win in race 3. Well done. Yeah, well done for that. Talk us through your weekend or Thursday.
Yeah, well, it was a nice event. P2, P8, and the win to finish the season. It's brilliant evening for me, so I'm quite happy, and I'm pretty sure we secure the second place in team standing, so that's good.
Yeah, absolutely, and and as I said, you won race 3. Race 1 though was probably the most tense of those. I mean, surely when you're defending from someone like Adam Taylor, it takes all of your concentration.
Yeah. Well, Adam Taylor is, as we know, a very quick driver, and well, I knew it will be very hard to defend, as he has more top speed than me with the Honda. So well, that was just a question of time, and he would get the move done. but actually the worst race was the race 2 with the max ballast, with the 60-kilogram ballast. I was very slow in the straight, and I had a very slow pace, so everyone was passing me.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for that again. Well done for your race 3 win. Talking of race winners, in now comes Adam Taylor, our race 1 winner.
Hopefully.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were still talking. Anyway, Adam, well done for your race 1 win. You had a very good race in that one, and a good weekend on the whole, I'd say. Would you agree?
It wasn't bad. Qualifying was pretty decent, and then the first race just managed to get a gap. So I got past Jeffrey, but then the second race, Wilson was just too quick without his. Couldn't keep him behind, and then unfortunately, in race 3, just got caught up in that incident on the first lap.
My goodness, you sound absolutely shattered. Tiring sim racing, isn't it? Not exactly toy cars.
I've got a direct drive wheel, so it's pretty heavy.
Yes, I can imagine. So we saw that you won race 3. Talk us through races 2 and 3 as well.
First race.
Sorry, what was that?
First race, I had a win, a third, and then race 3 was just.
Yeah, you said you got caught up in an incident at the start.
Much better.